Western Spring Television. Ours it is. I check your time. It is 2 minutes gone past the 9. Welcome to the show Sports Spring on a Western Spring Television. My name is Joseph. There was so much happening in the world of sports. Inter Milan through to the finals of the UEFA Champions League. It's the biggest football competition in the world. And tonight, the world awaits to see who joins Inter Milan in the final. Will it be Manchester City or Real Madrid? They're tied up pieces as we speak. But 8 p.m., the party will kickstart at the Etihad Stadium. Welcome once again. And in the world of basketball, we do know for sure that the Denver Nuggets were very phenomenal in their game in the early hours of this morning to be able to take the lead in the first game between themselves and the LA Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Nikola Jokic was very phenomenal yesterday. And aside from that, we also know that San Antonio Spurs has won the 2023 NBA Draft Lottery. And moving into the world of tennis, we do know that Igor Swiatek also has continued a very fine run in the Italian Open. Now, all of this and more is what we're going to dish out to you this morning. I am Negi Enesa Demola, and thanks for joining us. All right, let's start from the locals, and as usual, we'll start with the Nigeria Premier Football League, and we're looking at the manager of the month. Who is your manager of the month? We have a short list. Exactly. And now the head coach of Remo Stars, Daniel Ogumodede, has been named the NPFL manager of the month for his exploits in the month of March and April 2023. Now, the young coach, who turns 43 in 3 days, time, has rejuvenated the Ogun State-based clubs from a side struggling for points to an unbeaten run. Shortly before the half-season break, at the end of February, Remo Stars had just won once in 5 games. They won 1, drew 2, and also lost 2. Now, a run that saw them drop 10 points from a possible 15. But the window resulting from the nation's general elections at the time felt like a blessing in disguise as Ogumodede's side returned to the league on steroids. Now, barring the 2-1 win away at Plateau United in their very last game in May, the Sky Blue Stars went on a 7-game unbeaten run between March and April, winning thrice along 4 draws. And the run saw them sit pretty amongst the top 3 teams in Group A, going into the final day in the league versus Kwara United to secure their qualification into the Super 6 round. Now, aside from that, we also know that the Eyimba forward Chukwuemeka Obioma has won the Nigerian Premier Football League Player of the Month award for the month of March and April. Obioma scored 4 goals in the month, including a back-to-back goal against Nasarawa United and Bendel Insurance at the Eyimba International Stadium, Aba. The striker is currently the top scorer in the NPFL with 14 goals. And let's also remind you that he was also the Player of the Month award. He won the Player of the Month award for February also. So it's all good for the likes of the Remo Star coach in person of Daniel Ogumodede and also for Chukwuemeka Obioma. Congratulations to them. Well, congratulations to them. Hard work. That is what it does. It finally pays off in that one. But then still on the local scene, ahead of the Under-20 FIFA World Cup, Nigeria's Flying Eagles came from behind twice to play a 3-3 draw in the final warm-up game against their counterparts from Colombia. Abel Uguchi put the Colombians ahead early in the game through an own goal, but Jude Sunday put Nigeria level later in the game. Oscar Cortes restored the lead for the South American country before Yasser Aspiral made it 3-1 for them. 2 goals for Mohamed Ibeji and Emmanuel Ume ensured that the game ended in a stalemate. Flying Eagles will begin their campaign in the competition against the Dominican Republic before playing Italy and Brazil later in the group. And then we've talked about the quality of friendlies these guys have been engaging in. These are quality games because we have Italy and Brazil in that group. Not just in the competition, but in that group. And you scale out of that group, then you're making a statement that you want to go find the competition, if possible, win it. We're 2-time finalists. We've never won the competition before. Only Ghana has done on the continent. So these boys know that this is an opportunity for them.
Exactly. And looking at Landon Boso, the coach of the under-20 Flying Eagles, I think he knows that the business right here is very serious, much more than the one that we saw in the under-20 AFCON. And I can remember some of the friendly matches who played before the under-20 AFCON. It was the likes of Capital FC, Nasarawa United, most of them at home, the likes of Deluxe FC. But this time around, they know that they are going into a bigger stage, and it calls for a whole lot of seriousness. It is serious business, like I just stated earlier. And they needed to take on teams, I mean, very good teams, most especially preceding the tournament that is going to start this same May. Now, they took on the Argentines, I think, was it last week, and they got a 3-2 win against them. And this one, talking about the Colombian under-20 national team, they got a draw in that one 3-3, which I know that has been able to make Landon Boso identify what probably are the flaws and some of the good parts of the boys also, and definitely they will add all of that together to be able to face the likes of the Dominican Republic, because that theme is no pushover. Even if they're making their very first debut in the Under-20 World Cup. We'll see how things pans out to be. But for now, after this game that was played yesterday, of course, the boys had to relax their muscles to prepare for their very first match against the Dominican Republic in the Under-20 World Cup.
There's a lot of talk been going on as far as CAF is concerned. And, of course, the World Cup qualifiers format. But then we understand the CAF executive has set to meet, and they will take critical decision on the 2026 World Cup qualifiers format, which will favor many countries, or which might just throw some countries or deny them the opportunity of being at the World Cup. But then a critical decision will be taken.
Exactly. The African Soccer Governing Body has concluded plans to have a critical meeting in Algiers, at the capital of Algeria, on Thursday. Now, the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, is expected to chair the executive committee meeting on Thursday, May 18th, 2023 in Algiers, Algeria. The meeting will start at 10:30 a.m. Algerian time, 9:30 in Nigeria. Now, the executive committee will discuss several issues on the agenda, including the date and format of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, bids for the 2023 CAF Women's Champions League, and also the training and development courses that will be implemented in members' associations in line with CAF's commitment to developing football in Africa. This was the official statement written by CAF yesterday. Now, the executive committee will also be informed of the progress of the 45th Ordinary General Assembly and the African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire in 2023. Of course, a whole lot for them to discuss, and we've tried to outline that. One of the discussions will include the date and format of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, as well as the bids for the 2023 CAF Women's Champions League. Of course, the Nigerian Women Football League is doing all they can to be able to produce a representative concerning that, but we'll follow it closely and bring you up to speed as it unfolds. And
some of the things that will also be discussed will be the accreditation process when it comes to CAF competitions. Yep. It's been difficult. You know, you have to go through the media channel and different channels before you get accredited as a journalist for major competitions like the CAF competition. Yep. So trying to make it easy but not useless. Yeah. Trying to make it easy but not useless in the sense that not every Tom, Dick and Harry can access that platform. But this is something they'll all be talking about. But then for the progress and the successful hosting of the 2023 African Cup of Nations that will kickstart in January 2024 will also be one of the key talk at the Congress, which kickstarts in the next 21 minutes.
Now let's move on and talk about the National Youth Game, as the governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, has assured its total commitment to the successful hosting of the National Youth Games. Now, Senator Okowa stated this during the Memorandum of Understanding between the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and Delta State Government on Tuesday in Asaba. Okowa said Delta will host the National Youth Games for the next 4 years, urging other states to wake up in sports youth development. He praised the Sports Minister, Chief Sunday Dare, for striving hard for the development of sports in the country. And he also said in his words, and I quote, Delta has a strong relationship with the Sports Ministry. The Minister, Sunday Dare, did not sit in Abuja, but was always out there working for sports development. We are happy to host the National Youth Games for next year. We will host youth games the nation can be proud of. I challenge other states to prepare their athletes and give Delta real competition. It's through the competition you break records. Now, earlier, Nigeria Sports Minister Chief Sunday Dare said the National Youth Game is open only to athletes under 17 years, emphasizing the importance of the games in Nigeria's sports development. He also applauded Delta State's commitment to sports, saying, check the data for the last 40 years. Delta State has contributed a lot to sports development in Nigeria. Joseph, no doubt, Delta is one huge name when it comes to sports development. And aside from that, now they've made it clear that the National Youth Games is open only to athletes under 17 years. He emphasized on this. And I tell you for sure that when the National Youth Games begin, we would see grandmothers participating in a competition that is meant for under 17. We saw that come to play at Ilorin when they did the National Youth Games the last time. So many problems, most especially age cheating.
Well, kudos to the Delta State government alongside the Edo State government when it comes to track and field events, when it comes to athletics, and it's evidently seen in the national sports games, and where it's been a back and forth between both states. I mean, for the past decade, you know, winning it in between themselves. The only state that have broken that will be Lagos State, but that was far back 7-8 years ago. So as I said, it's a good one from the Delta State government and these guys. But just as rightly pointed out, you see, it's quite unfortunate that forget sports. In even other sectors, we don't have proper data. They even know the amount of people that come into the country or leave the country. In other countries, it's not like that. They have a proper data to be able to checkmate. So that is why census, whenever they want to conduct one, is not a big deal like we do in a country where we are budgeting millions of naira or billions of naira for some persons to allegedly squander in the name of census. Because if you have a proper data, this thing will work. So what am I saying is that if we have a proper data where in the sense that once you're born, your birth of certificate is documented, you'll be able to ascertain that this is under 17. But you and I can go to Igbo Shere High Court in Delta State. And we'll get an affidavit. I'm using Igbo Shere because I've gone there before, you understand. But then, you know, you can go to any court and get, and say you are 14. It's possible. And you'll get, so it's quite unfortunate. It's not something we should be witnessing in 2023, but it's quite unfortunate that when the competition starts, you see a man. You will know that this will be obvious. You will know that this boss, you will know, but he will tell you he's 14. Look at the player. Is it Cameroonian, the Malian player?
No, I think that's for the Senegalese team.
The investigation's already on. He's been playing in their league for more than 9 years. So if he's been playing the league for 9 years, how is he? Do you know what? Do you know what the 14-year-old boy looks like?
He said he's
So this is because it's a continental problem, not just Nigeria. And you know why? You know why? If the economy, if things were good, if people wouldn't have to, you know, kill themselves before they can afford 3 square meals, you understand? Things like this wouldn't matter because check them. All they're looking for is survival means, and that's why the boss will come thinking he can run and probably get maybe 50,000 when it's going on. That's enough. So he comes in as an under 17. What he will probably do is not talk too much, so that, you know, this can be 14. So it's happening until things start to grow continentally wise. We'll continue to have this, and it's quite unfortunate. Go to the US. You will see through under 14, under 13 run. Then Sheldon Ann Fraser-Price, I think from Jamaica. This girl started running from 13, and the result you will see later. You will. If you, even in football, in 2009, sorry to drag you back to football, in 2009, we were at the National Stadium in Surulere. That was when Nigeria played against Switzerland. Granit Xhaka was part of that squad that beat us in the final. Stanley Okoye was tagged the little Messias at that point. And but rumors, my friend saw it, and it was only 15 as at that time. Do you understand what I mean? And when he got to the car park, his 2 children and wife was waiting. It happened in Nigeria. You can Google it. So
a 15-year-old person with a family.
So maybe he started giving birth at the age of 9. It's possible, miracle, possibly. So unfortunately, these things will happen.
And you made mention of USA, and you also made mention of the fact that if things were working, we would not be able to experience this. And that brings us to what is currently going on, as Folarin Balogun has chosen to represent USA now. Arsenal loanee Folarin Balogun has finally opened up about the reason he decided to choose the United States of America at the expense of Nigeria. Now, the United States national team on Tuesday afternoon announced the acquisition of Balogun, who is also eligible to represent England. Now, Balogun made it clear that it was his family that influenced his decision. And in his words, he said, my decision to represent the United States came together with my family. In the end, it became a no-brainer, but for sure, it's just something I wanted to do. And it feels like I'm at home here. To represent the United States means a lot, more than people would know. I'm very proud and honored to have this opportunity, and I want to give everything I have to make our team successful. I think that's when I saw the full force of the U.S. fans. I was there and I just posted a photo with my friends, thinking it was just a holiday picture. But before I knew it, I just saw loads of comments and people knew I was in America, and I just really felt the love from there. Now, there's been a lot of build-up, so I've seen people saying that I should choose to represent the U.S., and it's just something I'm really happy that I've decided to do. And he said when he told his mother about this decision, she was extremely happy.
No wonder mothers are heroes, and I congratulate the woman. I mean, you play for the United States of America. Jokes apart, you play for the United States of America. When you retire, you are entitled to a certain amount of money for life. Do you understand? Even if it's 1 or 2 caps. There's this guy, John Fashanu. Is it John Fashanu? Yes, that represented the Three Lions. He still receives, I think he was on Super Sport one time, he still receives in Nigerian currency, let me not exaggerate, I think 2 million naira. Not sure if it's per month, annually or so, every year. Because he had how many caps? Did he even have 56? Do you understand? But look at ex-international. It's sad that one of our legends, one of our record holders, Rashidi Yekini, would die in the manner at which he died. It is quite unfortunate that the young man that was battling an ailment, as in Anambra, Enugu State, will also die the way he died. These are ex-internationals. These are guys that brought smile on their faces. So I'm sure the mother and the family members, you know, must have sat down. Maybe they've heard stories. He won't, and aside lifetime benefits, he's going to play for the United States of Nigeria. He will get enough playing time. He will start every of the game. So kudos to him. If I was in his shoes,
you would definitely do the same thing.
I don't need to speak to my family. I would have done it in my room.
But it is true, because I think I was at the World Cup now. I think there was a particular player, an African player, who switched allegiance to, was it Switzerland now? I can't really remember, but that was also all over social media, where he scored a goal and didn't celebrate. But then at the end of the day, he got a whole chunk of insults, and the mother said, she was talking about the same point you're trying to lay down. What's his name
Bolo,
now?
I think. Bello, I think that's he played for Switzerland at the World Cup when they scored against Cameroon, and his house I was burnt down.
Exactly, and those are the kind of things, just like you would always say that it's not just about Nigeria, but it's a continental problem.
It's a continental problem, but it's more here. Finally, before we go on the break here, let me also talk about the federation. You know, in this same country that we are, we had a sport minister who was dressing like a prison warder, Solomon Dalong. We had one who did not know days to the competition that the Super Falcons were the defending champions of Africa. We've had, what's them right now, NFF presidents who probably knew nothing about sports. So in the end, look at other countries, you will see that their ex-internationals, just to honor them, are the ones that could become the ministers, are the ones that become the NFF president, because they know where it pinches.
Because I know currently in South Africa right now, I think an ex-international came out to talk about the fact that they are the ones that know how this football thing runs. Pitch them into positions and see how things turns to be better.
If it were in an advanced country, Solomon Dalong would have resigned. You cannot tell me that you are the Minister of Youth and Sport and you do not know.
You have no knowledge about what's going on.
As at that time, they were 8 times champion of Africa. You did not know that they were the defending champion. Even if you did not, you don't have 8. You are still watching Spring Sport on Western Spring Television. We'll go to break and give you highlights from some of the matches played yesterday. And when we come back, proper analysis on those games. The Devils that left Hellfire to come and support AC Milan, they went out, they went home empty-handed. We'll be back.